We're going to roll out the marketing plan for attracting and retaining the middle class this year. We've been working on this for several months. We have some of the most innovative young professionals when it comes to marketing that are working on this, and you're going to be extremely pleased with this. If we're going to attract and retain the middle class, we've got to have a tool that's going to be attractive to them. And that's what this marketing plan is all about. It's innovative. Our target is millennials and Generation X. That's who we're going after. And this plan is going to be very, very effective in doing that. And so I'm looking forward to that. Real soon, this is something I'm excited about as a recently resigned teacher. We're going to have conversation with your council member with all of the students, a select group of high school students in all 3 of the high schools that's in District 3. I think that's really, really important because they are the future of the city of Dallas. We're going to host quarterly community meetings at local businesses in District 3. We're just going to go from one to the next, and we're going to have conversations about the business, how we can support businesses, and how businesses can be supportive of us. We will continue to maintain one of the lowest crime rates in the city of Dallas. I want to commend Chief Brown and his staff for making sure that whenever we have issues or concerns, they are immediately on it. Chief told me a few months ago, hey, you got my cell number. If you need anything, pick up the phone and give me a call. And he's been right on top of it ever since. We're going to kick off our District 3 leadership development training sessions. At our first meeting, we had Dr. Jesse McNeil, who's going to offer leadership training to all of our leaders. You know, one of the main things that a lot of leaders talk about, we just can't get people involved. How many of you are part of Nextdoor.com? Nextdoor is an excellent tool. I call it an online neighborhood association meeting. That's what it is. It's an excellent tool for keeping people informed, and we need to take Nextdoor to the next level. As a matter of fact, when it comes to Nextdoor, I've called and I talked with someone with Nextdoor, and I asked them, can we set up a District 3 Nextdoor group where whenever we have information that we need to get out, I can just send it out, and every group, neighborhood group that's a part of Nextdoor.com will receive that information. I'm waiting to get confirmation from them. It's a very, very effective tool. This is something we'll continue to encourage businesses to move into District 3 and to hire local residents to work. A good friend who owns Subway at at Polk and Camp Wisdom, he was going to try and be here, but he had something come up. He intentionally hires students that live in the area. He told me he recently hired a student from Carter High School, and has been one of the best workers that he has there at that Subway. And so I want to encourage more businesses to do the same thing. This year, we're going to partner with the Oak Cliff Chamber of Commerce on business development and job training. One of the things that really, and I serve on the board of the Oak Cliff Chamber by being a council member in the Oak Cliff area. And one of the things that got me excited is Keandra, when we first sat down to talk, she said, I want to focus on all of Oak Cliff. I said, huh? She said, traditionally we focused on North Oak Cliff, but I want to have a different focus. I want to focus on all of Oak Cliff. I said, I am in. Because we've got to make sure that our businesses that are in the southern part of Oak Cliff have the support that they need. They know, just because you can fry chicken don't mean you know how to run a business. So oftentimes people have great, Big Mama's recipe is great, but yet still we don't have the business skills necessary to not just sustain the business, but take it to the next level. And so I'm excited about that. Another thing that she shared with me is we want to make Oak Cliff workforce ready. That's huge. Because when we look at Oak Cliff, which is a huge area, certain areas, for example, the Lancaster corridor, which is a part of Neighborhood Plus target area, $10,000 average income. Average income, $10,000. And so what we want to do is we want to give individuals who live in that area specifically an opportunity to not only have a job, but go into a career path where they can go from either not employed to not just minimum wage or a first level, but to focus on opportunities to address this middle skills gap. And so I'm really excited about what's going to happen as a result of that partnership. We want to host a quarterly District 3 Ministers Breakfast. I had the opportunity to meet with the ministers, and they asked me, what can we do for you? I wasn't there to talk about what they can do for me. I was there to build a relationship and find out what I can do for them. And I told them, what you can do for me is you can make sure that your members are aware of all the great things that we're focused on doing down south, and that will be a tremendous help to me. We're going to host a partner on a Southern Dallas Food Desert Seminar. This is something that's been talked about a lot, the food desert, but we need to come together and develop a comprehensive plan. We can't just keep talking about they won't come here. We've got to support co-ops. We've got to have our own Oak Cliff Farmers Market. We've got to do things. We've got to take responsibility, and we've got to show that there's a demand and there's a need down south for our services. And once people see it, the first one that comes, I guarantee you, the first one that comes, everybody else is going to want to follow. And so we're going to have a conversation about that, and then we're going to create an action plan. We're going to host a men's health symposium. Men, we're just not doing a good job of taking care of our health. We're just not. And so it's time for us to have a real conversation and have some people who are knowledgeable about men's health who can talk to us with real talk. Not what we want to hear, but what we need to hear, because if we don't take care of ourselves, then other people suffer. We're going to host a Thanksgiving turkey giveaway. Last year we partnered with Councilmember Scott Griggs and Councilmember Carolyn Arnold, and we gave away 450 turkeys. And so we're looking forward to doing that also. We're going to do a District 3 Christmas party and toy giveaway. My good friend and my neighbor, Dr. Tracy Brown, who's a council with DSD, has volunteered to lead this effort. So if you would like to be a part of it, we're in conversation with Encore about being one of our sponsors. And so if you're interested in being a part of that, I think it'll be a great thing. And we're also partnering with Toys for Tots. And we want to continue to provide rapid response time, providing services to residents in District 3. At the end of the day, what's most important is that your needs in your area are addressed. Whenever you have a concern, you call the office, you get the response that you need, and your issues or concerns are addressed. And so I'm excited about what we've done, but I'm more excited about what's going to take place in 2016. So thank you, and if you have any questions, I'll be glad to answer them at this time.
What efforts being made for bike lanes, for those who have bike riders, what efforts are being made in the district to create more bike lanes?
Okay, I'm glad you asked that question. As far as the city, there's a huge effort, but I'll be honest, you're the first person to say anything to me about bike lanes in District 3. So now that this has been brought to my attention, I'll definitely have a conversation with our Assistant Director of Mobility, and we can see what the plans are, if there are any plans specifically in District 3. Are there any particular areas within the district? I know you live near Kimball High School.
Yeah, what we're trying to make sure you get a connection for a gateway. What I do is go down and take the rugged cross over and get all the way downtown and go all the way out to White Rock. So the connection is, how do we create more bike lanes on the less used streets, but the main thoroughfare?
Right.
Those 30 mile per hour streets, being able to have the access that's going to connect to downtown, connect to the Gateway Trail, connect down to the Liverpool and all that. We just don't see any real efforts being made in that area to really get serious about bike lanes.
Okay, let's sit down and talk about it. Chris, did you get that? All right, excellent. I tell you, KB.
2017, there's a city bond program that is coming up, and those issues are being addressed and planned to extend and repair bike trails and extension. So again, the effort is being put in the bond program, and that's something we have to push and vote for as we are trying to get those type of propositions on the ballot as we move forward with that. And that is a priority for not only Southern Dallas, but not south of the tree.
Okay. You can talk, Marlon.
I appreciate that.
You go over there. You can talk.
Matter of fact, Chris, let's make sure Marlon's at that meeting that we have with Martin. And maybe we can get Assistant Director of Mobility at that meeting as well. So, all right, right here, down here.
Yes, Casey, what about the southern corridor, the tech stop,
Southern Gateway.
the southern gateway? There's a meeting, I believe, on the 28th. Tech stop, we received letters
Okay.
pertaining to that.
Yeah, well, I mean, I definitely want to encourage, and I don't know the location. Chris, where's that meeting at? The Southern Gateway meeting this Thursday? I think it's at 5:30. Oh, it's one tonight and one Thursday. That's right, it's one tonight and Thursday. Beckley St. Eric is the meeting tonight, and then the one Thursday? 3rd of March, that's one that I have on my calendar. Okay.
But they are expanding, I guess their HOVs, or what is the expansion?
Right, it's a matter of, right, well, it's changed, some of it's changed because there was initially an effort to toll it, but that's, you know, it's no point at this, you know, it's taking its toll. So, it will not be a part of Southern Gateway, going forward, but, it's based on, you know, the high amount of traffic, and they're trying to find ways in which we can increase, transportation, people moving back and forth at 67, 20, generally 35 in that area. Yeah, so I definitely, if you can make it to one of those meetings, they'll give more detail about it.
Both of them start at 5:30.
Both of them start at 5:30.
5:30 to 7:30.
Excellent. Thank you very much.
So just to plug real quick, the Oak Cliff Lions Club is starting a farmer's market on February 6th.
Okay.
Cliff Temple Baptist. So hopefully we'll see you all out there. Also, I had a Kid Springs Central, the Friends of Kid Springs Park. I'm actually District 1, also a member of the chamber. One thing that's really come to light is the affordability. You know, being able to afford to live in these neighborhoods where we're in. Also businesses that have been there before. You know, on a personal note, it pains me to read an article in the Dallas Morning News where the journalist starts off by saying that, you know, until John Doe from North Dallas got there, nothing existed. It's very painful, and I think it's very discourteous to those who went before. Has the council started talking about how do we make sure that the businesses that are there, that exist there, stay there?
That I serve as vice chair of the Economic Development Committee, and unfortunately, you know, in the past 6 months, that has not been one of the conversations. I think, you know, there needs to be a happy medium. There has to be a way that we support new development, but we make sure that the local businesses who are the foundation of that area continue to get the support that they get. But I'm glad you brought that to my attention. I'll talk with Carl Zerkowski, who's all over the Office of Economic Development, about that. Chris, did you hear that? Okay, he was talking about as new developers or developers come into an area, we want to make sure that those who've been there, who've been the foundation of that area, that they don't basically run over, which we've seen happen a lot. So remind me to talk to Carl about that. Thank you. February 6th.
At Cliff Temple Baptist Church in the parking lot.
Okay, thank you.
She'll send that out to about 1,000 people. So it may be overrun first. First, they may be overrun. So, any other questions? If you are an appointee, one of our appointees for District 3, I want to make sure that I acknowledge you. Ms. Ella Good Johnson is in progress. She will soon be. You are definitely in progress. She will soon be our appointee to the Cultural Affairs Commission. She has served in so many different capacities as far as it relates to cultural affairs. Talking about you, I got to meet with Curtis today. I need to call before I go. I need to find out what's about Curtis King with the Black Academy of Arts and Letters. She was the chairman of the board of that, so I'm excited and honored to have her to offer, you know, to serve in that capacity. And Marlon, who now she's our representative on park board, and he's been asked to really drive an effort to make sure that things that are important and on the priority list for Park and Rec. And he's only been there a couple of months to drive that effort with the council, and I think that says a lot about him. Mr. Johnson, Mr. Johnson, people need to see who's our senior affairs commission. He's vice chair, correct?
That's correct.
Correct, vice chair of the senior affairs commission, and it's not a secret. I'll share this. I had a chance to go over to Grand Prairie to see the summit, and I don't know how many of you had an opportunity to go and see it. If you live in District 3 and you haven't signed up, see Chris, we're going to take about 50 people over to see the summit. The people have the Taj Mahal of senior living. I mean, it has a movie theater. When you walk in, it looks like a hotel front entrance. They have a weight facility, exercise facility, and it's all for people 50, 55 and up. And if you're not 55 and up, don't even think about coming in. And I mean, I got a chance to watch it in water aerobics class. They had on this one-piece swimsuit, and they just, look, it ain't nothing but us here. And we comfortable with us being here. We don't need kids, we don't need. And so it's a great, great place. And I talked with Mayor Rollins about this. I'll share it with you. I've been asked, as we talk about the bond, to consider us building a senior living, a seniors center, activity center in Southern Dallas. And if we can build, some support, and I know Mr. Johnson, that's something that's important to y'all. Matter of fact, I may ask you if we want to consider it. I won't volunteer, but I'll give you a chance to volunteer to lead that effort from a District 3 perspective on feasibility and the interest in having a seniors facility here in Southern Dallas. I think that would be an awesome legacy for the city of Dallas. And so that's something I'll be working on, this year, making sure we have interest in it. So I'm trying to see if I missed any other of our appointees that are here. And so we talked about the Grove South. Jean Jones of Houston, she is one of our members of the Grove South Advisory Council. Matter of fact, this Thursday, 6:30 p.m., Park in the Woods in Mount Green. She'll be doing part 2 of her Grove South presentation. And the whole point behind that is Grove South is a great mission focused on redeveloping Southern Dallas and talking about the assets that we have here in Southern Dallas. And in the past, the city of Dallas has not done a good job of informing the residents about what Grove South is. And so, Jean, if I'm not incorrect, you had the first meeting, right? And she's going to have the first follow-up meeting on Thursday at 6:30, and I'll be there for this one. I'll be there the whole time for this one. And so the whole point was to present and introduce what Grove South is and what are some of the priorities. But now, and then listen, but now we need to come back and offer solutions. And so I'll be reviewing the list that you sent me with, what the residents said. So before we go to the meeting, we'll already have a plan on how to address those things, and we can make sure that those concerns are addressed. So, any other questions anyone has?
Ellen Taff from the Rosa.
One of my nosy neighbors.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, one of the things that we're fighting is that the warehouses, we have a developer who wants to come in and build one humongous, it's the size of 31 football fields, one building, right at our gateway. And so we appreciate that Councilman Thomas has been helping us fight that, but we just found out yesterday that they're coming in and offering Plan B, which we thought we'd won and they were going away. But if we allow this warehouse to come in, it's going to degrade all of the houses around it. And do what? It's at Mountain Creek Parkway and Camp Wisdom. So we appreciate that you're helping us keep that out so that we can grow and get more houses and develop.
So it appears to me he didn't understand no the first time.
No.
So we have to show him what no means.
Yes.
All right. So we'll talk about that at the meeting on Thursday. I'm glad you brought that to my attention, and I'll make sure that I have the information prior to, and I have a copy of the plans prior to, so we can make sure he understands no means no.
So Casey, just since you're on things that a little bit controversial, have you taken a position on the other school request to build the Johnson?
So you want to play the role of president now? And two more. I'll say this. At the meeting 2 weeks ago, when we tabled the issue, I made a motion to deny. And since on tomorrow, I don't expect to get much sleep tonight. I haven't got much the past 2 weeks, but Thursday is another day. I'll make known, my interest my intentions at that time. We've had we had a community meeting. Me and Trustee Foreman had on last Wednesday, and Trustee Foreman had one on Friday. If there's anyone who lives in District 3 who would like to share with me your opinion on that at the end of the press conference, I'll listen. You can email me, and we're getting feedback on both sides. The one thing, and I said this on Friday night, and I meant this, there's life after this vote. We have to exist after this vote. The bigger issue is how involved are we going to be in the schools? How involved are we going to be in the schools? Those parents from Uplift have showed up at council meetings, they've showed up at community meetings, and the comment has been made, what would it take to get our parents of our DSD schools to show that same type of commitment to their children's education? So, it'll be discussed. People have opportunity at the hearing tomorrow. If you want to come down, it'll probably be packed. You might want to get there early. The hearings will begin after 1 p.m. and then I'm sure the decision will definitely be made. And whatever decision is made, whatever the will of the council is, I'll support that, I'll respect that, and we want to make sure that after this, we have a larger conversation about the quality of education, whether it's charter, whether it's ISD public school, whether it's private school. We need to have a larger conversation about the importance of education.
Well, all I wanted to say is, economic development is everything.
Right.
And so we can't just overlook and talk about, that use. That's a really economic to be considered having additional types of structures that are supportive of education. So I don't see, that's just my position on it. I think it's important that we look at it as a strong economic engine that's going to help the district.
I appreciate that, and that will be taken into consideration. Thanks a lot.
Councilman Thomas, can you explain to me, because I know what I thought was a food desert, what it meant to me. Can you explain to me, because I keep hearing you say the food desert in Oak Cliff. I'm thinking that it's miles that we don't have the grocery stores over here in the area. So can you elaborate on that a little bit?
Right. Well, it relates specifically to healthy food choices. Distance relates to healthy food choices, and so I can get you, the specific, definitions on that. But we know we look at Southern Dallas as a whole. We don't have that. Oftentimes it's made comparison what they have out north, and it's time to stop complaining about what we don't have and do for ourselves and create. We already heard it right here. There will be an Oak Cliff Farmers Market. We show support. We show there's a demand. Trust me, they'll come running, and then they'll have to answer to us. So that's my active side. I'm not I'm retired here for a minute. Anybody else have any questions? Go ahead. Okay. What street?
I'm sorry.
What street?
Montreal Way.
Montreal Way.
Hampton.
Okay. Well, there is a list that we have of streets that will be repaired in District 3. What I'm going to do, Chris? All right. That list that we received with the list of streets that are going to be repaired in 2016, let's go ahead and send that out in an email.
Thank you.
Yeah, so we'll send that list out, and you'll be made aware of if that street's on the list, if it's not on the list, then we can see what we can do to get it added to the list. You're more than welcome. Thank you for coming.
When they say the street list, there might be a pothole here and then you go down a block and a half and there's another pothole. But they just fixed the one in front of whatever address was given. Will they start looking at the whole street as opposed to just that portion of the street?
Yes, we definitely will make sure that they do that. Where do you live?
I live right off of Brook Valley and
Okay.
Zagata Drive.
Okay, all right, I know
It's
exactly.
an alley.
Yeah, I know
And
exactly.
they will patch one little hole
Right.
and don't go the whole length of the alley.
Right. Well, definitely, if you see that happening, definitely make sure you contact my office. And if you don't have the number, we'll make sure that you have it, because, I need to be made aware that those things are taking place. So we want to make sure that a street, not a block, a street is repaired. So,
What about the alleys?
Alice on the list as well.
Call 311 and put in a request. They come out, they fill one little hole in the alley. And I took pictures of it, fill one hole, and they go and they leave. I mean, you've got several holes.
Right.
I mean, big holes in the alley. And it's just, you tear up your tires and everything down your alley.
How you feel about us sending back out to finish those potholes? How you feel about that? All right.
We're at the service road, right on the highway.
What's your address?
On Highway 67, we're the service road.
Oh, the service road.
Yeah,
Okay.
right behind that service road.
Okay.
I call TechStop all the time.
Okay. All right.
I'm communicating with everybody.
You know some name also.
Very well.
They know you personally. Yes. All right. Very good. Very good. So yeah, we want to make sure that they address not just one hole, but if there's a street of potholes.
Everybody cuts down that alley
Right.
because it's above wood terrace.
Right.
So everybody comes from that shopping center down that alley because that's an easy access. So it is, it's going up the whole alley.
Yeah. Yeah. Make sure you see Chris so he can get that information. Definitely. Any other questions? Okay.
Not a question, Councilman, just a comment. Love the presentation, love everything that you're doing.
Well, thank you. Check is in the mail. Thank you.
You indicated that you'll be meeting with high schoolers. I don't know if you're aware of it or not, but at the elementary level, young people learn about city helpers, about city government and everything. And so that might be a good place to start as well.
Okay. All right. I appreciate that.
Because if we start at an early age, feeding this information to our young people, then they grow up understanding that and interacting.
Oh, you retired educator,
Yes.
former principal.
Yes.
How did I know? Yeah, I agree. And we get invitations. I get invitations to career days, all the time. And I try to make myself available to attend them and be able to share, even at a young age, my kids, and they go to a great school. They go to Dale Turner, which is in District 3. But, and in their class, the government class, they ask, about local government, who the mayor is. Yeah, my daddy worked with the mayor, so, it's a little different experience for them. But that just goes to show that they're introducing government at a younger age to kids, and which they should. And so I appreciate that, and I'll take you up on that offer. So any other questions? Yes.
What's your feelings about the 35 deck park that's being considered? Is that a good?
It's a great thing. I think to be able to have a deck park south of 30 will be a great thing for those kids who don't have transportation to go to Clyde Warren Park. And so, and look what's happened around Clyde Warren Park. We had one of the most controversial issues in my first council meeting was about a high-rise development that was taking place right at Clyde Warren Park. So there's opportunities for development that can come, and economic development, as Martin would emphasize, that can come as a result of that. And just a place for our kids to have and go and play in a nice, safe, clean environment. But we're going to need, the city can put money and other intergovernments can put money, but we're going to need a champion in Southern Dallas who's willing to put up money. The reason it's Clyde Warren Park is because Clyde Warren Daddy put the money in. It just is what it is. Okay? And so we have those type of champions in Southern Dallas, whether they live in Oak Cliff or they moved away to whatever reason, we have those champions in Southern Dallas, and here's an opportunity for one or several to step up to the plate and put in private funds into this project that's going to be in Southern Dallas. I think it's going to be great, and I stand in support of it, and it's going to be, if I'm correct, tentatively being discussed between Council Member Carolyn Arnold and Councilman Scott Griggs districts. Any more questions? Well, give yourselves a round of applause for coming down here and listening to me talk all this time. I thank you, and I was joking earlier. I said, you know, this is the first of hopefully 7 more. But I didn't want it to be a State of the Union type of address where I'm up here talking all the time. I wanted to hear from you. So thank you for coming out. I appreciate it. I want to acknowledge my sister and my nephew, Renee Wheeler and Andre Wheeler, for being here. And all of you that live in District 3, one of my big supporters, Mr. Tim Williams Chicken. He donated 50 boxes of chicken to a seniors living apartments in the district. So let's give Tim and Williams a round. And I just encourage you to keep doing what you're doing because you're making District 3 great. I just get the credit.